Well, if we talk about Nissan, then Nissan internationally has a lot of superstars. It has the Nissan Juke, it has the Nissan Qashqai, it has the Nissan X-Trail, it also has the Nissan Petrol, and of course, who can forget the Nissan Skyline, which really dominated the Fast and Furious movies. So Nissan really is a car company which has a lot of heritage. It has a lot of big nameplates to talk about. But in India, they of course have been going through a resurgence. You already seen the Nissan Sunny and the Nissan Micra, which sold in decent numbers when they were launched. But after that, since 2020, Nissan only is selling one car, the Magnite. But the Magnite in itself is a great car. Now, Nissan wants to get back in the market with a bang, and this here is the car which will bring it back. This, of course, is the Nissan X-Trail. It will be sold as a CBU. The pricing officially hasn't been announced as yet, but we expect it to be around 45 to around 50 lakh rupees. This car has a lot of technology, it has a lot of features, it has really a lot of tech which is patented. And if you talk about the X-Trail, it's one of the best selling nameplates in the market internationally. Yes, this is one of the best selling SUVs in the international market. It sold well over 4.5 lakh units last year, and out of those 4.5 lakh units, around 2.5 lakh units were sold in the US market, which is one of the biggest markets in the world. So in terms of pedigree and in terms of its heritage, this car is well established. Now this one has a 1.5 petrol, but before you say is a 1.5 petrol enough for this car, well, it gets a turbo and it gets some sophisticated technology which makes over 160 bhp from that 1.5, which means you get the best of both worlds. You get great fuel efficiency and you also get great performance. Now let me talk about the looks of the car and tell you what I think. Well, in terms of the front end, as you can see, it looks very dominating, very muscular, and of course it has that certain amount of sophistication to it. You get this huge double chrome grille. There's one over here and there's also one surrounding it over here. It looks really nice and fancy. You of course get split lamps over here. This one of course is for the turn indicator as well as the ARLs, and of course this one over here uses projector lamps to give you a very strong throw of light at night. You also get air curtains over here which actually do enhance the overall aerodynamic efficiency. And if you move on to the side, you will notice these large and nice 20-inch wheels. They really are huge, and the alloy design also is very cool. You also get very nice and sophisticated silhouette on the side, a little bit of chrome detailing over here, and of course you also get roof rails to give it a very nice and polished look. Very flat sides, but you of course get large windows, which means that the interiors are nice and large. We'll get to that in a bit. And if you move on to the last part, the back part, which I think is one of the best looking parts of the car. Well, if we talk about the back of the car, you can see over here you get a very subtle kind of design which looks like a spoiler, but it's not a spoiler. It looks very subtle and very nicely integrated with the rest of the car. You also get this huge split tail lamp, and over here you'll see a raindrop effect on these lamps, which Nissan is very proud of. And of course this part is at the bottom with the regular lamps. So overall a nice and sophisticated design. It's not really a 4x4, but Nissan has a limited slip differential at the back of this car, which means that you can do mild off-roading. Now if you see it from a distance, you'll also notice that this car has a ground clearance of 210 millimeters, which is really one of the best in the segment, and it means that this car can actually do some genuine mild off-roading stuff without having a proper off-roading or 4x4 system on it. So that's something which is quite good about this car. Anyways, what do you think of the looks of this car? If you like it, let me know in the comments below. Let's jump on the interiors now and show you the interiors, and after that take it out for a spin. Well, so I've entered the cabin now of the Nissan X-Trail, and I have to say that it feels very rich and very premium inside the cabin of this car. The materials are all very soft and squidgy. The top of the dashboard, the top of the door panels, you of course get nice fabric stitching over here, and you also get very good fabric over here on the seats. Now you don't get any leather on the seats, but you do get a little bit of leather over here in the middle part of the dashboard and the center console, so it feels very premium. Stitching over here also adds that posh appeal. Completely digital dials, and you get a lot of information in them. 7 airbags along with auto hold. You also get different driving modes to choose from, electric parking brake, and Nissan's shift by wire technology over here for the gear lever, which really does feel very nice and soft to operate. It really does feel very premium. Couple of USB points here, type C and old school, 12-volt charging point, wireless charger, and of course 7 airbags as I said, and of course blind spot assist and a host of other features which I don't need to mention, because you all know that this car is in the premium segment, so it comes loaded with tech. Now the only negative is that the touchscreen over here is rather small, so that's something that Nissan should fix, and also the menus and sub-menus, the design of the fonts and everything feels a little dated. In today's day and age where everybody's offering you 10-inch and 12-inch touchscreens, this one does look and feel a little small. But the positive is that you get old school rocker type controls for the volume and also for the controlling of the sound and scrolling through the menus. But I think it should be a little bigger. Other than that, you get a huge place over here where you can keep your odds and ends, you can keep your cell phone, wallet, a lot of stuff, and of course a couple of big beverage holders here. And the door pins are also large enough to have those big 1 liter bottles. This one of course is a half-liter bottle, but you can keep big bottles in them. You also get limited slip differential on this car, which means that you can do some mild off-roading at the back, because you get limited slip differential on the back wheels. You can do that. And the front seats surprisingly are not powered. You have to do it manually, so that's something which is again a bit of a miss, because this is a premium Porsche car. I think they should have offered you electric adjustment on the front seats. That said, the steering wheel adjusts both for rake as well as for reach, and it's quite nice to grip. Automatic headlamps as well as automatic wipers are also part of the kit, and you also get a very good view of the bonnet line, which means that this car really does feel like a macho and proper SUV. Now, before I go to the back, let me just tell you that these seats are supreme in terms of comfort. You get very good bolstering, and you also get lumbar adjustment over here, which means that you can easily find your most convenient sitting spot. Anyways, now let's jump in the back seat and see how good that really is. Well, jump in the back seat now of the X-Trail. I have to say that in terms of knee room, it is massive. Headroom also is quite good. Now, my height for reference is 5'10", and I've adjusted the front seat for my height and driving position. So if your chauffeur is also about 5'10" or 5'11", then you will have no problem in the back seat over here. You also get these little pockets where you can keep your files or your cell phone or stuff like that. And of course, USB Type-C and old school, along with AC vents over here. Now, the door bins again are quite large, and the windows are also nice and chunky. The best point, you can move around the lower part of the seats, the base, front and back. So in case you've got a lot of passengers at the back, in fact, you've got 2 people at the back, then you can easily make room for them. And you can also move around the backrest like this. So that's also something which is quite good, which means that this car offers you good utility inside the cabin. I'll give the second row a nice score of 9 out of 10. Well, now before I jump in the last row, let me just show you one small trick inside, because you might say there are 3 headrest restraints. There's a 3-point seat belt. So where will the armrest come in case I only want to travel with 2 people? Well, you get an armrest over here. You can just pull it around like this, and you can make an armrest and separate the 2 occupants over here. A couple of beverages and a big place where you can keep your cell phone like this, and that long journey can be enjoyed with this fruity beverage over here. Anyways, now let's jump in the last row and see how you sit over there. Well, so now let me tell you about the last row of seats. Now, as is the case with most 7-seaters, there isn't too much space over here. It's best left for kids, because as you can see, I'm sitting with my knees really up, and they're very close to my ears, because there's a battery pack, 12-volt batteries there. So that system is their hybrid system, mild hybrid tech. So that's below the rear seats. So, that also eats up into a little bit of space. And the middle row is in its middle position. It's not all the way forward, it's not all the way back. And over here, I have just about decent place to sit. It's not the best really, and neither is the worst. So these seats really are best left for kids, for them to enjoy. Surprisingly, there aren't any AC vents at the back, which is a bit of a miss. But of course, on the positive, you do get beverage holders on this corner, beverage holders over here, and of course, a lamp as well. Anyways, now let's stow away the seats and show you the boot area. Now, the seats over here, and these seats can be moved around by about 16 different combinations. So you can make this into a bedroom in case you plan to do a lot of off-roading and stay out. And of course, you can also make it into a luggage carrying car in case your mother-in-law is always coming in and staying with you for at least a couple of months. Let me show you the different combinations how. Well, so let's quickly show you the boot area with the last row down. Now, as you can see, it's a nice and spacious boot. It's a huge boot with the last row down, and the best point is that there's no loading sill. It's all flat, so you don't have to put your pack into it. In case you want more space, you can remove this little tray over here, and you get a little more space over here and over here. So that also means that you get maybe a few extra cc's to keep your stuff. Yes, milliliters really, but you can keep a few bottles over here like this. Maybe about 10 or 12 bottles of this size can be kept over here. Now, if you bring all the seats up, As you can see, there isn't too much space. Maybe you can keep a couple of big bags, maybe a couple of medium-sized bags, but that's about it. Not too much space with all the rows up. Of course, if you really want to use it as a regular luggage carrying car, you can drop all these seats, and you can even drop the middle of town. We'll show you some kind of ways how, and then you can see for yourself what a big and spacious car this is with all the rows down. Anyways, with the seats up, there's not much space, but you can of course drop one down and make it a 6-seater and get plenty of place to take all the luggage that your mother-in-law brings in when she comes for 2 months to your place. On the downside, this isn't a powered tailgate. You'll have to do things manually over here. Well, so here I'm driving the Nissan X-Trail. Now this car has a 1.5 turbo petrol. Now a lot of you might say that a 1.5 really isn't the engine of choice on such a big and bulky SUV, and to a certain extent you might be right if it wasn't for this particular engine. Now this engine uses a lot of sophisticated technologies, a lot of patented technologies which only Nissan has, and the reason for that is that this same engine has 2 different compression ratios. That's something which is not only unique but it's quite rare, and Nissan has managed to get that holy grail of engineering done with this engine. So even though it's only 1.5, it develops over 160 bhp of power, which is quite good, and it's very quiet. It's a 3-cylinder, but it doesn't feel like a 3-cylinder. It's a very quiet motor. It is a very refined motor, and it's also genuinely very good in terms of the low-end performance. Yes, it's a very responsive engine, so even at the lower part of its RPM band, it feels very lively, very alert, and it's ready to go from the get-go. Now, of course, you get different driving modes to choose from. You get the sport mode, and that really is the mode to be in if you call yourself an enthusiast. You also get the standard mode, which is a mix between sporty stuff and economy, and of course you get the economy mode where the engine dials down a bit and feel a little more relaxed and just less eager to perform. But even in the economy and standard mode, the car does feel very lively and does feel like the bottom end of the engine is quite responsive. So that's something which is quite good about this car. Now you also get a CVT gearbox automatic, but unlike a lot of other CVTs which have that terrible drop-out effect, where you bump up the revs and the revs keep mounting but the speed doesn't rise, that's not the case with this car. It really feels genuinely very good. It just loves to go, and you also get paddle shifters behind the steering wheel, which generally make it feel like a torque converter gearbox, and it doesn't feel like a CVT in the least. It really feels very good. Now the big benefit of having a CVT gearbox is the fact that fuel efficiency is very good, and not only is the fuel efficiency very good, apart from the fuel efficiency, you also get a very nice and linear kind of power delivery, especially with the kind of technology that this car has to offer. So that is something which a lot of customers will again really appreciate. What you will also really like about this car is the huge visibility all across. The windows are nice and large, the side view mirrors are nice and big, the central mirror over here has a very good view of the back. So really, if you are a first-time car buyer who's driving a big car, you've just made it big in life and you want to drive a big car, then you also get a very good view of the bottom line, sensors, cameras, everything is there. So that's something which is quite good. And what's even better is the overall ride quality. Yes, the ride quality of this car is absolutely brilliant. It's a very expensive car. It's going to be an expensive car. We don't know the prices yet. And this ride quality of the car is in tune with the segment and in tune with the kind of overall pricing the segment has. So the ride is good. It's very supple. It really does take the sting out from the worst of worst roads, the crevices, the joints, everything. It takes the sting out of them, and it really feels like a very nice and very well settled SUV. It doesn't feel like the suspension is busy doing a lot of stuff when you're driving it. So that's something which is quite good about this car. If you take it out on the highway, you feel nice and good about it because it gives you good stability, and in the city also it eats up most of the bumps and potholes without any fuss. The steering wheel, it's on the lighter side, and I think Nissan has done this on purpose because this is a heavy SUV and it shouldn't feel like one when you drive it. So it's a heavy car, but the steering wheel is nice and light, which means that at the end of the day you don't feel tired even after a long day of being behind the wheel. And also the seat comfort is very good, so you don't feel tired even after being in these seats maybe for even 8 hours or 10 hours or 12 hours. So that is also something which is quite good. So overall, I'm pretty impressed by the driving dynamics, and I'll give this car's driving department a good score of 9 out of 10 as well. Now let me stop the car, give you some pros and cons, and then end this video review. Well, so if we talk about the Nissan X-Trail, then this car really comes across as a very well engineered car. It drives very well. It has a very punch-in performance-oriented engine, and the ride quality also is generally very good. It's also a very spacious car, at least for the first and second row, and it also looks very posh and premium on the outside. Now, I don't really have to tell you about the X-Trail because you can search about it and see the feedback of international journalists and what they say about this car, because this is a very capable machine. Anyways, I'll give it a good score of 91 out of 100.
Hello everyone, welcome back to Times Drive English. I'm Uncle Taneja, and this here with me is the all-new Mini Countryman Electric. And Mini has launched this car here in India at price of 55 lakh ex-showroom. So what all Mini is offering in this new Countryman Electric in terms of features, in terms of design, and what kind of range does this car offer? That's what we're going to talk about in this video. Let's start with the design first. You get the electric grille here in the front of this Countryman Electric and a Mini logo in the center. You get the sensors in the front and projector headlamps and DRL here in the headlamps as well, and a Mini badging inside the headlamps of this Mini Countryman Electric. You get the triple tone treatment here in the bumper of this Mini Countryman Electric. There's body color, there's black, and there's this light golden color in the front bumper of this Mini Countryman. Moving to the side, it gets 19-inch 245 section alloy wheels. What do you think about the design of this Countryman Electric alloy wheels? Do tell us in the comment section. You get wheel arches and some pattern over here, the wheel arches, and there's sensors on both sides, and you get the piano black treatment on the side mirrors and body color door handles here on the side as well. You get the light golden treatment in the side skirt here as well in the side profile, and it's a dual tone combination with the piano black and the body color in this Countryman Electric. Moving to this rear profile, you get the vertical tail lamps, which in terms of design are same as Mini Cooper S, and the Countryman badging and the Mini badging here at the rear profile of this car. There are sensors, there's same treatment in the bumper, the triple color treatment, body color black plus light golden in the skid plate of this Mini Countryman. And you also have the shark fin antenna here in the roof as well of this Mini Countryman. And that's what you get in terms of exterior in this Mini Countryman Electric. Let's go inside and check out what all features and in terms of cabin feel, how this Countryman Electric looks. Let's go and check that out. So let's talk about the interior of this Mini Countryman Electric, and the interior does look really good. There's recycled material that Mini has used in the dashboard, doors, and in the seats as well of this Mini Countryman Electric. And the main attraction here in the center is the circular 9.45-inch screen infotainment system that you get in this Countryman Electric. And the features that you get over here, you get navigation, Bluetooth connectivity, radio, there's time, temperature, fuel gauge. You can control the AC from here, and apart from that, you get the battery information, the charging information, and the power that the car is using when you are driving this car. You get the physical buttons for experiences, power, electronic parking brake, volume control, and the hazard light button and a park assist button as well over here. Below that, you get the wireless charging and some space to keep your stuff, cup holders, and some more space to keep your stuff here in the center console. And also, it comes with the sliding armrest here. You get the two USB-C charging points here in the center and a 12-volt socket. And the overall design of seats is also really good. You get the Mini badging in the center and different colored stitching in the seats as well. Moving towards the steering wheel, here you get the cruise control settings, and the speedometer and everything related to that will be displayed here in the infotainment screen of this Countryman Electric. And you also get the HUD display here for the driver's information in the Mini Countryman Electric. And there's another very cool feature in this Countryman Electric which you can access from the infotainment screen here. It gets a selfie camera which is placed over here in the roof, and you can take selfies if you want, if you are that kind of person which keeps on taking selfies back to back. So that feature is there in this Countryman Electric, and you click your selfies with this feature that Mini is offering in this Countryman Electric. Now let's move towards the rear seat. How's the space? What all features are there? Let's take a look at that. The rear seat space in this Countryman Electric is quite decent. You get a good amount of leg room, but the size support could have been slightly better. You get the center armrest with two cup holders and the AC vents in the center as well. in this Countryman Electric for the rear seat passengers. Now the battery capacity in this Countryman Electric is 66.45 kilowatt hour, and the range that this Mini Countryman offers is around 566 kilometer in the city, but combined WLTP range is around 462 kilometers. It has an option of both AC and DC fast charging. You can charge this car from 0 to 100% with the AC charger in around 6 hours 15 minutes, but with the 130 kilowatt DC fast charger you can charge this car in just 8 minutes from 0 to 100%. And the power that this car generates is around 200 bhp, and the max torque that it generates is around 250 Newton meters. It can touch 0 to 100 in just 8.6 seconds. And as I said in the beginning, the price of this new Mini Countryman Electric is 55 lakh ex-showroom. So what do you think about the design, the features and the kind of range that this car is offering, this Mini Countryman Electric? Do tell us in the comment section.
One of the most anticipated cars of this year, which is 2024, is certainly Mahindra Thar 5-door. Well, it is going to called Mahindra Thar ROXX, which is confirmed, and this car is going to arrive on August 15, 2024. What other things are expected? Well, this is what I'm going to tell you in today's video. I'm going to talk about the expected features and also the confirmed specifications. You are watching Times Drive English. It's me, Pavni Jain, and it's time to get into the details of Mahindra Thar ROXX, everything that we know so far. So a couple of images, teasers and also the video clips are already out by the company, and so we know a little bit about how it's going to look. Starting with its front facade, what you'll see is a new grille altogether. It is also going to boast headlamp cluster, which is going to house C-shaped DRLs. This is unique in comparison to its predecessor. You'll also going to see LED fog lamps this time, which makes it look even more modern and classy. Similar to the new headlamp cluster on the front, you're going to witness new LED tail lamps at the rear as well. On the bonnet, you're also going to witness the two similar latches that were given on the previous Thar to open the bonnet. Now, coming to the side profile, the new ROXX is going to come with 19 inches of alloy wheels. Other than this, you're going to see front and rear parking sensors. A 360-degree camera is also confirmed with the new Thar ROXX. Did I mention about the sunroof, which is also confirmed with the upcoming Thar ROXX? Well, these are the things that we know so far and will be included in the upcoming car. What are the things that are expected? Let me talk about that. Now, the first thing that is expected is definitely a bigger boot, considering the overall increase in the exterior measurements of the upcoming Thar ROXX. You may see extra space in the second row as well. Now, speaking of what you get in the front, you may get to see a 10.25 inches infotainment screen as well as a digital cluster. This car may also boast ventilated seats and auto-dimming IRVM. One of the biggest highlights of the upcoming car can also be the ADAS Level 2, which is going to enhance safety for sure. Now, coming to its engine, this time the Thar ROXX is expected to come in 3 different engines. There can be a 1.5 litre diesel engine, 2.2 litre diesel engine and also 2 litre petrol engine. The Thar ROXX is expected to come in 4x2 and 4x4 off-road capabilities. Let me also comment on the price. Well, the previous 3-door Thar is priced between 11.5 and 17.5 lakhs. This time, I think the Thar ROXX 5-door can start from 15 lakhs. Now, it's hard to comment on the prices of the top-end variant of the upcoming Thar ROXX, and it is because it totally depends on the variant that you will be choosing. And also on the transmission option you will be opting for, whether you want a manual transmission or the automatic transmission. As for the rivals, this new car is going to compete against Force Gurkha 5-door and Maruti Jimny. Let me know what excites you the most about the upcoming Mahindra Thar ROXX in the comment box. Do you think this car is going to rock in the market or not? Let me know that in the comment as well.